Hi and welcome to this podcast about 6 challenges for atheism. I'd like to start by outlining 2 principles. The first is that beliefs should be based on evidence. Whether you believe there is a God or you believe there is no God, you should have some evidence for your belief. The second is that we all have beliefs. We all have a worldview, assumptions about where we came from, why we're here, and what happens when we die. And our belief about God is fundamental to our worldview. Atheism is the belief that there is no God or supernatural. Matter is all there is in the universe. This is known as materialism or naturalism. Some new atheists say they just lack a belief in God. But a worldview that lacks a belief in God is just plain, old-fashioned, old atheism. Which brings us back to evidence, the first challenge facing atheism. This is Professor Richard Dawkins speaking on BBC Radio 4.
Well, I'm passionately interested in the truth, and truth is that which is backed up by evidence.
So again, this puts the responsibility on someone making a statement to have evidence to back up that statement. If you're going to make a claim like there is no God, or to put it as a positive claim, matter is all there is in the universe, you have to have some evidence for that. So what is the evidence that matter is all there is, that there is no God or supernatural? Now please note this is not a request for proof, but it is a request for evidence. So where is the evidence that the universe consists of nothing but matter? If there isn't any evidence, then atheism is a belief without evidence. And to quote Christopher Hitchens, that which can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. Matter does not have free will, and this is the second challenge facing atheism. Because if the universe consists of nothing but matter, and we are nothing but matter, then we do not have free will. The atheist author Sam Harris has written that free will is an illusion. The illusion of free will is itself an illusion, and you are not in control of your mind. In an atheist worldview, we cannot choose or decide or prefer. Although an atheist may use these terms, they are for the atheist ultimately illusions. Third, how can we trust our reason? This is known as Darwin's doubt, because Darwin himself had this concern. He wrote, "With me the horrid doubt always arises whether the convictions of man's mind, which has been developed from the mind of the lower animals, are of any value or at all trustworthy. Would anyone trust in the convictions of a monkey's mind?" Vince Vitale of the Oxford Centre for Christian Apologetics has written, "The supposedly unguided evolutionary process that developed our reasoning ability is aimed at survival, not truth, and these are not the same thing." The atheist philosopher Thomas Nagel echoes this point when he writes, "Is it credible that selection for fitness in the prehistoric past should have fixed capacities that are effective in theoretical pursuits that were unimaginable at the time?" Speaking on BBC Radio 4's programme A Point of View, atheist philosopher John Gray criticised his fellow atheists for mocking religious belief in favour of human reason.
Believing in the power of human reason requires a greater leap of faith than believing in God.
And some atheists seem happy to abandon reason when it suits them. This is Professor Richard Dawkins again, this time speaking at a reason rally in America.
Mock them, ridicule them. In public.
And what is the basis of values within an atheist worldview? How does an atheist decide what is right or wrong? Atheist philosopher Kai Nielsen has written, "Reason doesn't decide here. The picture I've painted for you is not a pleasant one. Reflection on it depresses me. Pure practical reason, even with a good knowledge of the facts, will not take you to morality." Which leads to the question, is human life any more valuable than any other form of life in an atheistic worldview? Is the life of a human being any more valuable than any other highly evolved species such as a beetle. Atheism, with its assumption that matter is all there is in the universe, leads to the bleak conclusions that we have no value as human beings or any basis for free will, including the ability to reason or moral values. One atheist dogma is that there is no evidence for the existence of God, but that's incorrect. The best evidence is the life, death and resurrection of Jesus. Any worldview must take into account the best evidence for the existence of God, which is the life, death and resurrection of Christ. What is the atheist explanation for that? Now, if you'd like to explore these matters further, please take a look at material by people including Professor John Lennox, Professor Alistair McGrath, Professor William Lane Craig, or the Christian Inquiry Agency.